Hey guys, welcome to part one of my series, Easy Meal Planning for Beginners. About a year ago, I uploaded a video about the crazy way that I meal plan my entire year in one evening. And I kind of just did it because I thought it would be fun to do that video, and my channel is pretty small, so I didn't think it would hurt me too much if I did something crazy like that. But much to my surprise, it became one of the most popular videos on my channel, and I've had a lot of questions from that video about how I do the individual steps. Now, a lot of you had asked me if you could see my template that I use for organizing my recipes or how you could create your own. So I actually created a template in Google Docs for you guys. I call it Set It and Forget It Meal Planning Template, and you can grab one of those. I will put a link in the description down below, and if you grab that, I will be walking you through how to fill that out in this series. And I think that I'm actually going to do an entire video or two on how to fill that out from start to finish. So if you are interested in getting your own spreadsheet set up, be sure to grab that down below. If you want to make sure you are keeping up with all the videos in this series and are easily planning your meals by the time we are done with it, I am going to include a checklist in the description down below that you can download for free and basically just make sure you are keeping up with everything and planning out your meals right alongside me. So in this video, we are going to start with meal planning our breakfasts. Now, keep in mind that I meal plan for my entire year all at once, but obviously you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just find it is much more efficient, and I don't have to meal plan for nearly as long or as often when I do it this way. So I will put a link to that video in the description if you want to check out how I do it the evening of. But this series will be walking you through all the baby steps that it takes to get to that point. Obviously, you do not have to meal plan your entire year out for these principles to work for you. And even if you like to plan 1 week at a time, it will still make your life a lot easier if you follow the steps that I outline in these videos. Now, before we dive into the actual meal planning of breakfasts, I want you to think about two things. First, how much do you like cooking? And second, how much do you like cleaning up after you cook? Because those two things are very related. And typically, the more that you cook, the more that you will have to clean up after you cook. Now, if you like those two things a lot, that's fine, and you can do very elaborate breakfasts every single day. But for me, this is one of the big mistakes that I made when I first started to meal plan. The very first time I sat down to do my entire year of meal planning, I thought, this is going to be great. Since I am planning so far in advance, it won't be a problem if I do more cooking on a daily basis because all of the planning will be done for me. And I excitedly wrote down all of these different meals that I was going to try for breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Well, as you can imagine, I lost steam pretty quickly because I was spending so much time in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. I realized pretty quickly that I am one of those people that does not love cleaning up after I cook. And I enjoy cooking, but I think I enjoy cooking a reasonable amount. I don't absolutely love it and just get really excited when I do it. I enjoy the cooking process, but I don't want to do it all day long. So I decided that something had to give. And since dinner is the time when my entire family eats together, I decided it made most sense to simplify breakfasts and lunches. Now, we'll get into lunches in the next video, but how I simplified breakfasts is I decided to eat the same thing every single weekday. Now, many people have told me that that is super boring and they could never stand to eat the same thing every single day of the week. And that is totally okay. So I have actually 4 ways that you can simplify your breakfasts. The first way would be to do what I do. 5 days of the week, eat the exact same thing every single day. We typically eat oatmeal 5 days of the week, but that doesn't mean it's the exact same every day. We put all kinds of different fruits and nuts and seeds into the oatmeal to make it unique and different all the time. But if that is too boring for you, you could do option number 2, and that would be for 1 week, eat the same thing every single weekday. And then the next week, eat something different, but eat it every single weekday. So week 1 may be oatmeal. Week 2, maybe avocado toast. Week 3, maybe scrambled eggs. Week 4, maybe toast with peanut butter and applesauce, and so on. Having the same thing every day of the week, even if it's changing from week to week, will drastically simplify the amount of time you are spending cooking and cleaning in the kitchen each week. Plus, it will very much cut down on the amount of grocery shopping that you have to do for each day, because you just have to get more of one meal's worth of food. The third option that I have for you, if you want to simplify your breakfasts, is you could choose 2 weekday meals. One weekday meal you could have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and another weekday meal you could have on Tuesday and Thursday. This still will simplify quite a lot the amount of food that you have to buy and the amount of things you are making each week, but it will still give you a little bit of variety in the week. Now, this fourth option is for all of you variety lovers out there. And in this option, I suggest choosing one meal for Mondays. So let's say that you have oatmeal on Mondays. A different meal for Tuesdays. Let's say you have avocado toast on Tuesdays. A different meal for Wednesdays. Let's say that you do scrambled eggs on Wednesday. You have a separate meal for Thursdays. And let's say that you do, what would be another good meal? Let's say that you do cream of wheat on Thursdays, and on Fridays, let's say you do toast with applesauce and peanut butter. And then each day of the week, you alternate through those things, and every week it repeats and starts over. So you are still getting variety because each day is different from the previous one, but you aren't having to reinvent the wheel as far as your planning, your cooking, or your grocery shopping are concerned each week. So go ahead and grab out if you are using a pen and paper, or if you are using that set it and forget it Google Sheet template, and write in what your weekday breakfasts will be. Once you have your weekday breakfasts done, I feel like breakfasts is a word that my mouth doesn't like to say very much, but I have to say it over and over again in this video, so bear with me. But once you have that done, we are going to work on weekend breakfasts. And for my family, this is where we start to get a little bit more variety. So on Saturdays for us, and I suggest kind of splitting your weekend up into Saturday and Sunday, obviously, because there are 2 days. But typically for a lot of people, one day is quite a bit busier and one day is more relaxed. And for us, we go to church on Saturday. So I want to make sure that my Saturday breakfasts aren't overly complex. And often we will continue to eat oatmeal again on Saturday just because it's nice and easy when we are trying to get out the door and get everyone ready to go. But if we do want a little bit more variety, we may do something like toast with peanut butter and applesauce, or eggs, or something like that on Saturday morning. So the next thing I would have you do is write down whatever your busier weekend day, if you have one of those, write down what your breakfasts will be on that day. Now, moving on to Sunday. Sunday is our typical relaxing, slower day. So on this day, we will do more of those traditional time-intensive breakfasts that we don't get to all through the rest of the week. And this is a great option for all of you who like things like waffles and pancakes, but they take too long to make, especially when you are trying to get your kids out of the house to school or you are trying to get to work on time. A Sunday morning or a Saturday morning, if your weekend is different than ours, can be a great time to incorporate some of those favorites. But you may have so many favorites that it can be hard to get through them all on one weekend. So what I do, since we love breakfasts, is I list out all of our favorites. So I'll have waffles and pancakes and biscuits and gravy and just all of the things on this list. And then I will go through on my calendar and I will rotate through them on every Sunday of the year. And then once I get to the end of the list, I'll just start back at the beginning and put the whole list through again. Basically, all I do is I'll put waffles on Sunday number 1, for example, and then pancakes on Sunday number 2, and then biscuits and gravy on Sunday number 3, and then omelets on Sunday number 4, etc., etc., etc. And once I get to the end of the list, I just start over and I keep going. So that is one way you can incorporate a lot of those more elaborate brunch feeling type breakfasts into your routine and not have to be doing those breakfasts every day of the week. Now, one comment that I've gotten a lot on my video is that they would love to meal plan more, but their families complain too much when they meal plan. Their families aren't in the mood for what they have planned when they have planned it. I would say if your family members are old enough, if it's a husband or a child, and they want to complain about what you are making for breakfast, you can put them in charge of making breakfast and say they're welcome to make the most elaborate breakfast that they want as long as they clean it up afterwards. And this is actually something that we kind of do at my house. My husband doesn't complain about my meal planning, but he does like a lot of the more elaborate breakfasts. So on Sundays, I sleep in while my husband gets up with the kids and he makes whatever elaborate breakfast we are going to have that day. And this works really well for us because it gives me a break from the cooking and it enables him to have some special time with the kids, and it allows him to have those more elaborate breakfasts that he likes so much. So I would definitely say if somebody is complaining about the simplified breakfasts that you are now doing, say, okay, great, well, you can be in charge of cooking breakfasts. And you are also in charge of cleaning up after it. Don't let your teenagers make this huge elaborate pancake breakfast and make a huge mess everywhere and then leave and expect you to clean it up. Whoever does the cooking needs to do the cleaning, unless you want to figure out some other arrangement where you do the cleaning and they do the cooking or something like that. But I would just say, yeah, if people are complaining about it, tell them that they are welcome to do the cooking if you are finding it stressful to cook elaborate breakfasts all the time. So I hope that helps you figure out what to make for breakfast. Be sure to grab that easy meal planning checklist if you want to make sure you're keeping up with the series and setting yourself up for easy meal planning in the future. Let me know in the comments down below which of the 4 options you will be choosing to simplify breakfast at your house, or if you have a completely different one. Leave that in the comments down below as well, because I'm sure somebody else would be interested in reading it. And I will also put in the description down below some easy, quick, healthy breakfast ideas for during the weekdays, and I will also show you our list of more elaborate weekend breakfasts that we work from as well. If you have any questions at all, leave those in the comments down below as well, and I will do my best to respond. I'm Kassy with makingtimeforgiggles.com, and I make videos all about simplifying mom life, so be sure to subscribe down below if you would like to see more videos like this one, and definitely be sure to subscribe if you want to make sure you get all of my easy meal planning tips for beginners that we will be covering in this series. I hope to see you on the next one.